I was wrong about the Canon 6D Mark II. When I reviewed it, I said it was a good all-around camera, but that it was boring because it didn't do anything the best. And I have to change that review. We started filming our videos in a slightly different way. We started traveling more and wanted to be able to film things more casually, more spontaneously. And so we started filming ourselves more often and not always using a cameraman. And that's when I realized that the Panasonic GH5 just wasn't up to the task because the autofocus didn't work. I should say the GH5 didn't autofocus well enough. In a review of the GH5, I was able to get it to work for vlogging purposes and it seemed like it was okay, but then in the real world it failed us consistently and kind of wrecked a couple of important videos for us. So we started using the Canon 77D, a Canon APS-C camera, because it had dual pixel autofocus and a screen that flipped forward. And the dual pixel autofocus blew our minds. We could just put the camera down and step in front of it and we'd be sure that we were in focus. And if we picked something up and put it in the frame, the Canon would do a pretty good job of autofocusing on it pretty quickly. And that meant that we got some shots that we wouldn't have gotten with the Panasonic. But there was a couple of big problems. First, it wasn't 4K and we're a 4K channel. Second, it ruined a video for us because Chelsea came home. Okay, let's take a look.
Yes.
I was filming a video. Oh, hey, Pixel.
Pixel! Doesn't she look like a little cloud?
Oh, you got a haircut. Okay, see, that's the brilliance of the Canon, is I was able to just pick it up and film something spontaneous. And Panasonic creates better video quality because of its 4K and all that. But it requires some amount of planning and really kind of needs a cameraman there to manually focus it and check the focus peaking and all that. But the dual pixel autofocus will just snap into action and find faces in an otherwise crowded scene, and it's like artificial intelligence or something. So how did the 77D fail us? We were recording a video and the mic died. And there was no way to know while we were on camera because the 77D doesn't show your levels while you're talking. The 6D Mark II does that, which is something you need so you know if the mic fails on you. The Canon 6D Mark II had a couple other huge advantages. When I'm walking around like I have been, there's a stabilized 24mm lens. It's pretty much the only one around. It's also fairly fast at f2.8 full frame, and that's enough to blur the background a little bit, as you can see, and that's kind of a nice look, right? It also has digital stabilization on the sensor, which will help basically do exactly what Warp Stabilizer would do in post, but without me having to go through post. And I know Warp Stabilizer provides better effects than Canon's own digital IS, but Warp Stabilizer is real slow, and if you're trying to turn on a video quickly, it makes a big difference to be able to get it in camera and just be able to upload it right away without any additional editing. I also found another huge advantage, and it's this lens that I showed you earlier. It's the 24mm f1.4. I'll show you why it's awesome. Let me change the lens on you. This is the 24mm f1.4. Now, Nick noted this bookcase back here. Right now, I'm at 24mm and f2.8, but I can go all the way up to f1.4 here. And now look at the background blur I'm getting. That's such a nice pro look. It looks so much better than f2.8 or anything that I could get out of a micro four thirds camera or even the APS-C camera. There is no lens for the Canon APS-C cameras or for the micro four thirds cameras that can give me this kind of look. And why is this nice? Because I can quickly set up the camera and record myself but still have a fairly pro look. It means I can be in a cluttered environment and still blow out the background if I want to. I can always shut down and have infinite depth of field. That option's available to me, but no other camera will track autofocus on my face like this, give me a flip forward screen where I can see myself and allow me to blur out the background at this wide of an angle. So Canon, you did it. The 6D Mark II is the best vlogging camera ever made. There really is nothing else. Now, I wish I had 4K. I wish I had 4K 60. I wish I had sensor stabilization. But right now, those are all things I have to give up because there is no perfect camera. But the best one is the 6D Mark II. Hey, if you're watching this in July 2018, go to freesdp.com where you can still get a free copy of our book, Stunning Digital Photography, and you can get autographed copies of our paperbacks. After that date, we'll probably have some kind of coupon there, which is still cool to check out. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews. Oh, Pixel's back. Hit like, and if you have follow-up questions or comments, write them down below. Thanks.